Welcome to the Carbonite Jedi, where we rediscover the wonder of Star Wars, the original trilogy and beyond. And tonight we're going to be doing a recap of episodes 1 through 4 of The Acolyte. Now, if you haven't seen The Acolyte, there's going to be some spoilers. So close your ears or come back for a rewatch later on, just to warn you. But for right now, I want to thank my patrons, Craven Something Scary, Larry, and Kirsten Warner. I really appreciate you. Y'all are on the Padawan level. And if you feel like joining, please do. We would really love to see you. But let's see. We have Russell Dorsey in the house tonight. Thanks, Russell, for being here. I really appreciate you. And Jason. Hey, Jason. I'm not sure if Steve's joining tonight or not. He was on the fence. So we'd love to have him, but we understand if he can't make it. Hey, Paula. And how many in the audience have seen The Acolyte up to season 4? I mean, episode 4. Let's see. Well, while I'm waiting on that, Russell has. And Russell, are you liking it or disliking it, or are you holding back your thoughts? While we're waiting for Russell to respond, I have some people backstage waiting on us. And the first person I have is my good friend JD. Hey, JD, what's up?
Hey, how's it going?
JD has a spoiler back screen on his window.
It's just the forest.
And real quick, likey, not likey, or just so?
I would say so far. There's been
far.
some good moments, and there's been some like meh. But so far, I mean, we're halfway there now, so see how the last half does.
Yeah. There's some parts for me that are kind of like I'm kind of excited to figure out as it as it happens. Other parts are like maybe not so much. They should have put that in there. So
yeah.
All right. Well, the next person we have is Dreadnought Scott. Hey, Scott, how's it going?
Hey, guys.
And what are your thoughts of the episode so far?
So I was intrigued when it first started. I thought, oh, this is a different storyline. This might be good. But as it gone on, it's losing my attention. Not as bad as Andor, because I still have not finished watching Andor. It just totally, I was like, snooze. But I still want to kind of see it out, and I'm hoping it ties in with some aspects of Ahsoka, but I just don't know if that's going to happen.
Okay. Yes, Ahsoka.
Timeline-wise and all, I just don't. But maybe some backstory explanations and things like that.
Well, we'll have to see, and that's a good theory about Ahsoka. A lot of the time we hope that certain series tie into other series to kind of bring that into circle. But the circle of life.
There's a dead Wookiee behind JD. I can see him.
There's some dude hanging from a tree upside down.
Yeah.
So in the Acolyte series, we had episode 1, and it's kind of introduction to everything. And they show one of the Jedi getting killed.
Quite easily, too.
Quite easily. Oh, I hear a knock on the door. Hold on one second. Hey, Steve. What's going on, man?
Gentlemen, good evening.
Scuba Steve.
Hey. Well, I
awesome
have
you
to.
could make it.
Well, thank you, Michael, for the invitation, and Scott and JD. Always good to see you both.
Yeah, you will.
Um, and just not to literally break in the middle here, but I just wanted to let you know I was not able to watch. I only got to see the pilot and half of the second one, so my contributions tonight will be observer primarily, but I'll chime in every now and then.
All
Well,
right.
that's cool. Got a couple people saying hello to you. Got Paula and Russell Dorsey.
Ray Russell, hey Paula, miss you guys. I'll be back maybe even sooner than you think. Stay tuned.
Jason Reichman.
Back and scarier than ever.
That's right. Exactly right.
Well, Steve, if you don't mind hearing spoilers.
I don't mind because honestly,
Okay.
based on y'all's feedback, I can't log in anyway, so I probably won't even watch it anymore.
Okay. Well, if you remember in episode 1, they had Carrie Ann Moss, her Jedi
Yes,
person got murdered by
way
the
too soon.
Acolyte. Yeah, within the first 5 to 10 minutes.
Yep.
And so it brought up a beehive of activity with the Jedi Council and the whole Jedi Order to find out who did it. And people thought it was one of the Jedi they kicked out, Osha.
Uh-huh.
So they put her under arrest and then on a prison barge and sent her to Coruscant, but her ship was crashed on the planet. One thing I think I like about this series is how they're not relegated to one planet, like the Book of Boba Fett, or, it's not to Tatooine and Coruscant and then back to Tatooine and then back to Coruscant, or, 2 planets. They've gone to multiple planets and they're really diverse planets. They had the planet she crashed on looked kind of like Hoth, it was cold, and then they have this jungle planet that the Jedi Wookiees at, and then they have other planets that are really neat looking. So any thoughts on that, JD?
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good. I mean, the visuals have been not too bad so far. I mean, the different planets, like you said, and everything. So I agree that it's been a pretty cool aspect.
Okay. And Scott,
Production value is good. I like the mixing up the planets. I like to see the solar system expand instead of being this small hub. I like, I'd like to see somebody actually in the show show a map of, we are here, we are going here, or something like. It would be neat to see that on the screen versus us having to go buy a book or something like that.
Steve, did you when you were watching the first and second episodes, did you notice a lot of diversity in the worlds and stuff? Or
I wasn't really looking for that one. So I imagine if I'd have watched all 4 of them, I would have really picked up on it more. But I was more focused in on the characters and trying to figure out the flow of the show. But you do bring up a good point that most of these series are really limited on location, and so if they are, obviously they are going to different places. I think that's definitely an improvement.
I also like how they put the name of the planets on there too.
Yeah,
and it's on the screen for a while, so you actually take it in as opposed to, oh shit, I missed that.
Yeah.
Where are they at? I didn't hear it in the dialogue earlier because I wasn't paying attention. There's a blah, 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 blah. And now they're at this new planet, and I don't know where the hell they are.
Yeah, that's I like that too. A couple of names I thought it was kind of funny. It looked like a men's enhancement drug. So this is the blue pill planet, So
yeah.
Well, that's cool. And then in the second in the second episode, they figure out Osha's got a twin that's alive. They thought she was dead. And she's chasing after these 4 Jedi. So that were on her home planet when a fire broke out and killed everybody. Killed her moms, and witches or whatever. So, and she's after revenge from what we know. She's wants revenge on these Jedi. So she manages to kill another Jedi by making him drink a poison. And it's very clouded as to why he did that or what happened. You know, it doesn't say. It's just he felt guilt for some reason, you know. And so he drinks this poison and dies. And then they're after her again this May. What stood out in episode 2 for y'all? For me, it was I liked the action. I liked it when she was fighting Master Soul, when they did the kung fu kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Not necessarily using lightsabers, but it was more, you know, kung fu ish. What do you think, JD?
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, and like how we gonna get to see that they're twins and they see each other.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think when we were watching episode 1, I think Steve and I kind of guessed that there was twins. So, or I mean, Scott. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, and like got to see some other Jedis. I thought it was. I'm curious if we're gonna. I mean, I'm sure we are gonna get some story as to why he just so easily just drank the poison and
Yeah.
what he felt guilty about.
Anything to add, Scott?
I think it's interesting that they added in the flashback scenarios to this Star Wars, because we don't see that very often. Or the oh, I remember, or we're seeing somebody's history backstory.
Yeah.
And they don't use that very often, if at all, in the Star Wars real world. But they're using it here because it's very common in TV land to have a flashback of some sort to where we can see the backstory, and we just need to know whose backstory we're watching.
Yeah.
You know, who's the storyteller in that situation.
You know, you're right. I never realized that. It just when you just said it, it kind of clicked that they don't ever do backstories or backflash of people's characters and stuff. So
Yeah.
Good catch.
So as far as episode 2, I would have liked more with the sidekick or the henchman to understand more of his backstory and what's going on with him and how they got connected and why they're together. And, you know, it almost seemed like a boyfriend, girlfriend, like he's the spurned lover. I want you to be my girlfriend. I'll do anything for you kind of BS versus I'm your what is it in the night world? I'm your the knight, and then you had his lackey.
Squire.
Squire, yeah, like he's her squire, and he's just there to do whatever. But they never really established that. It's even into the 3rd episode.
Yep. Steve, I know you watched part of 2. Anything that stood out for you on 2?
I was. No, I can't. I don't know if I made it quite halfway, so I've missed. There's a lot I haven't seen of 2. I mean, I was going with it okay. I'm like, okay, this isn't so bad. You know, I thought episode 1 was decent, and but I just see that the twins. I saw, they learned it was a twin. I saw that. Don't remember much after that, to be honest with you, right now. But I wish I could. I'm usually watch all this stuff when we talk about it, and so I'm a little bit of a loss. But
that's all right.
From this point forward, I'm just going to kind of listen, and I'm here if you have a question. But I haven't seen it.
All right. So.
Hang on, I got a question for Steve.
Yeah.
Steve, do you see any parallels or underlying themes with what you've seen and your world of horror? Do you see any
Oh,
underlying possible parallels there so far? Because as we get deeper into it, I think you are.
honestly, right now, and I haven't. I didn't. It was like I watched this about. It was 2 weeks ago, so it's not super fresh. So, I, right off the top of my head, though, um, nothing is like leaping out to me. But now that you mentioned that, that actually makes me. If I can ever figure out how to get back into Disney, it makes me want to watch it now a little more because you said I'm gonna. You said I'll definitely see it if I haven't yet. That's interesting.
Well, it's the don't go in the basement. Don't go where the chainsaws are hanging.
Oh, okay,
Oh, you
okay.
know, it's the what are you doing? Why are you going into that dark forest?
Got you. Yes. Yes. Why are you going into there when you can go over here?
Right.
Got it.
Don't go into the dark, go into the light.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Makes sense.
So look for the boogeyman, Stephen. I think you'll enjoy it.
Okay. Yeah, all right. Appreciate that perspective.
All right. So on the end of 2, was it the end of 2 or the end of 1, where May sees the Sith on the rocks and he lights up his lightsaber?
I think that was 2.
Yeah, I thought it was 2 also. So we have that part, and then on 3, it jumps to a full episode of nothing but a flashback, where they're on this planet, and they have 4 Jedi that are assigned to that planet to be, like the sheriffs, or I don't know what they're there for actually. And these ladies are there, and they basically are there because they were running from Jedi or somebody, so they could like live free and study the thread that's what they call the Force. And they are one, they are two, there are many. And so I have to be honest, episode 3 was my least favorite. But one of the lady that carried the twins, she gave me the Darth Maul vibes. That's Russell, that you asked about Darth Maul vibes. That's when I got my Darth Maul vibes. She wasn't red, but she was, flesh colored with her horns. And then it comes out that the other mother of the witches created the children by pushing the Force into her or something. I don't know. What was your thought? What are your thoughts on that, JD?
Yeah, I mean, online, I mean, I kind of agree. I kind of thought it was like not the best. It was my favorite episode, definitely. I think they could easily put that as like the first episode and then did a flash forward to like 16 years later or whatever it was. But I thought it was okay. Like, what are your thoughts of like? I see a lot of complaints I see online is just like this kind of takes away from Anakin because he was supposed to be the one that's created by the Force, and now they're just making Force babies left and right.
Well, yeah, it's the thing where there's 2 things. First of all, is like you said, they created a baby from the Force, and that was supposed to be Anakin's thing, where he was special and nobody had ever seen that before. The second thing is the twins. They have Luke and Leia, and they were strong in the Force, and nobody ever seen twins that had Force powers. But then they do it on this, so it's kind of like normalizing it to where it's not special anymore. And so those are my thoughts. Is that what you're kind of thinking?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of like I've been seeing a lot online. I was just like, it's like people's complaints and just the comments and stuff of it. Like, it kind of takes away from the whole chosen one thing.
Yeah.
The other thing was like when the Jedi were kind of like, you're not allowed to be practicing the Force. Like, I don't know. What did you think about that? Like, were the Jedi really like that? Where like it's like the Force is only for us and not for anybody else? Like,
I don't think so.
yeah,
I
thought that
think
was
they're
kind
making
of. I
them
think,
more Nazi-ish.
yeah, I feel like they were just trying to make them look bad for some reason.
Yeah, yeah. That's one of the things I was I was looking at with this when it first started out. I just, are they gonna make the Jedi look so horrible and make the dark side people, make you sympathetic toward the dark side to where it's kind of flipped upside down?
Yeah,
I mean, I know the Jedi had their faults, but I don't think that they
Yeah.
were militaristic that way. They were just peacekeepers. They're supposed to be peacekeepers of the galaxy,
yeah,
and I don't think think they would have come through, especially on planets that weren't part of the Galactic Federation. So
yeah. And then it's just like, is that why they were out there in the first place? Is because they heard that there were some people out here practicing the Force, and then so they came to investigate. And I don't know. We'll probably figure that out eventually. Also, maybe.
yeah. What are your thoughts, Scott? I know it's kind of hard for you to talk, but we're going to make you talk anyway.
It's getting worse. So with this episode, I really didn't. I like the introduction of the witches, but it's a hippie commune. That's the whole thing here: is living outside the law, doing what we want, living off the earth. And oh, by the way, we can do magic, and as one is two is three, and we can sing in harmony. And I've got very much HR puffin stuff kind of vibes and feelings of ooh, pass that over here, buddy. I want a hit of that kind of hippy dippy stuff going on.
Yeah.
And but there wasn't very good creation of that backstory. We don't know how long they've been there. We think they're on the run. They hadn't settled their roots, and we think they're gypsies, just moving from place to place to place to try to hide, so they don't have to normalize with everybody else and follow the rules that everybody wants to follow. They're going to do their own thing.
Yeah.
And then the May and the OSHA, they were both whiny little bitches. They just, you're not supposed to be out here. Why can't we be out here? I will go wherever I want. I'm a big girl. No, you can't. I'm going to lie. I'm not going to lie. Oh, God, give me a break. So the actresses worked with what they had. I'm saying it like there's two of them. There's just one, but you get my point. They worked with what they had. And, they got the cool tattoo over the forehead, which we've never seen before in Disney lore. So it's going to come and go. We didn't see him on the witches in the Ahsoka universe. So I don't know. Maybe they finally got the right potion to get it off their forehead. If somebody keeps poking you in the head long enough, you are an ugly witch. You're an ugly witch. And they do it like that. And you get that symbol on your forehead. So not my favorite. I thought they did a crappy job of the whole fire thing. And I do think they're trying to go down a path of demonizing the Jedi.
Yeah.
Set you up to love Plagueis and lead you down that path of, Plagueis actually was a good guy because he wanted to bring back his blah, 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 and his love interest. And, her death was caused by the Jedi. So, of course, we want him to succeed in this. And then Palpatine, he's really bad dude. We hate him. Poor Plagueis, So I think that's what they're setting us up for, something along that lines. Because I think we all know that's Plagueis, right?
Well, we want to think it was Plagueis, but there's a lot of inconsistencies that they're throwing up there. So two other things I just remembered was, one was, May. Oh yeah. So Osha had this conflict because she wanted to be a Jedi and she didn't want May like hovering over her the whole time. Yeah. From what I get. And May was like, you're my sister. I want to be with you all the time. I want to hang out, do things. And Osha's like, I need my space. So Osha wants to be a Jedi. And I thought for sure that the witches were going to shut her down, hard
Yeah.
off of that. But they basically were like, okay, it's your choice. Go ahead, do what you want to do, which didn't seem like what they would, really do. So did they?
I think it's hard for people to understand the whole twin thing unless they live with the twin thing, Mike. I really do. I don't think folks us growing up, I don't remember a twin when we were growing up. Do you? Well, there was one in your class.
The Barkley boys.
Well, there were two in your class then, because there were also the Divines. Were they?
Oh, no, they were a year below us.
Year below us. Okay. So, with the Divines, it was a boy girl. With the Barclays, it was boy boy. And I could definitely see those two never wanting to
No.
even live in the same city.
Uh-huh. They were always at each other's throats, trying to, figure out who was the best.
Right. So in OSHA and
I have
her,
twins.
You do. And so do you see a lot of let's hang out forever, or are you seeing them all going their own path?
I see them it's funny because they don't, they get along really well, and they hang together a lot. But then when they need their space, they're able to, go their own way.
My mic. Okay.
So,
good evening.
And I think that's
I'm
the immaturity of the
good.
May character,
It's gonna
because
get
I
your
think
help in a minute to
she's
get
not
these-
doing it.
Just
She
the
wants
diaper swapped
she
out in
can't
front.
be alone.
yeah.
Oh no, it's fine.
Okay. Sorry. I muted it. Yeah. So I was just shocked that the witches were going to let May or OSHA go her own way when, they were a commune, like you were saying, and nobody leaves a commune. We're here to teach you. You add to our group. So that was number one. Number two was May's like, I love you. I want you to be with me to get forever. And then OSHA wants to leave. So May locks her in a room and tries to burn her to death.
Yeah.
What's that about?
Yeah, I didn't like the storyline of if you're not with me, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah,
she
exactly.
flat out says that.
If I can't have you, no one can.
Yeah. I
my
didn't
gosh.
care for that. That seemed too wishy-washy.
And then that leads me to my third point is that you think that the Jedi had something to do with all their deaths from episode 1 and 2, from the way May was talking and how she wanted to get her revenge and stuff. And all of a sudden it starts twisting to where it was May that did it. And for some reason, she just wants to kill the Jedi. So is there something they're not showing us about the Jedi?
Well, I think there's two things going on there. One, there's something they're not showing us. And two, Plagueis or whoever that is wanting her to go back to this. This is a common reoccurring theme. And you can, if you're watching The Boys now on Prime, they just did this with a Homelander of going home. You go back to your origin story and destroy your origin story.
Mm-hmm.
So now you absolve yourself of that and you can move forward. And that's what Plagueis is doing with May here, is destroy those that have created you to be so pissed off, which led me to you. And now I can teach you unencumbered going forward because we totally severed the ties of your past.
Well, that's actually one of the tenets of the Sith, is to go back and destroy your past. Like for Palpatine, Plagueis made him go back and kill his family on Naboo. So he would, lose his ties. And you see that with in the sequels with Kylo Ren. He kills Han Solo to try to break free of his bonds from his familial
But he didn't kill his
bonds.
mom.
She wasn't nearby. Well, he did kill her at the end. Basically, he broke her heart and she died. So, any thoughts or anything about what we've been saying, JD? About
I kind of agree that they're like something else
Steve.
must have happened. Of like, I feel like we're gonna get another flashback of something that happened with the Jedi, maybe before the fire. And I don't know if that the Sith guys just kind of twisted May to think like the Jedi still had something to do with it, just kind of to push her towards the dark side, I guess. But I think we're gonna get some more backstory on that and figure out like what happened. So that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, it will be. I'm kind of interested to see if there, on the backstory, there's a lot more between the point where they get back to the commune, May packs her stuff and is ready to go, and that fire breaks out.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's kind of weird that she causes a fire right around the doorway, and then when she breaks out, the whole place is on fire.
Yeah, seemed weird.
So
I think they did a really good job of making the Jedi look younger in the flashback, because Soul looked freaking awesome.
Yeah,
he looked like a really sharp young dude, and it was 16 years prior. It looked very believable, and I guess that's why they let him go. And like, oh, for these current today scenes, you're going to go no makeup, and you're just going to be you. And then they morphed him, however, with CGI or whatever. I thought they did a great job on that.
Hey, Russell, and JD, if you know, correct me, but I think it's 8 episodes total.
Yeah, so we're halfway done.
So we're halfway done with the Acolyte.
Have they released the titles yet? Usually that's a good spoiler for these if they've released the titles.
They've all been kind of weird titles, just like one word. Like this last one was just called like
Day.
Yeah.
The third one's called Destiny. The second one's called Revenge/Justice, and the first one's called Lost/Found. So, not very descriptive.
I see.
And they're all between 45 to 35 minutes.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of one-word answers, so I'm not a fan of one-word episode names.
Why?
Exactly.
All right. So that was episode 3. Now, episode 4, they're on the track for May, and they're basically tracked May to the planet where the Wookiee Jedi was, because she's over there to kill the Jedi. And it was a good episode. I liked it. I liked the cliffhanger part of it. And we got to see a couple of people that are, so we thought, from Revenge of the Phantom Menace. So we actually did see Kai Al-Mundi in there. And he was a young Jedi who wanted to not tell the Jedi Council that there's possible Sith on the planet. Or they've tracked possible Sith. They want to keep it away from the High Council. And so was he lying in the Phantom Menace when he was saying, we haven't seen the Sith in over 1,000 years? And what's up with him like hiding it from the council?
That's my take on it. Is they're gonna brush it under the rug as an isolated incident. Some of them are going to get killed, and probably most of them are going to get killed. But the rest of them are going to go on with that deadly secret.
Yeah. Okay. And then in the party with Master Soul, who's tracking May, we have a person who looks like Plo Koon. But come to find out later on, it was confirmed it wasn't Plo Koon. But it would have been nice to see Plo Koon.
Yeah, it looked just like him.
Yeah.
I was more hung up about the otter-looking tracker.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't sound like an otter, did he?
No, he sounded like an otter, like an otter.
He sounded like a rancor.
Sound like a zombie from The Last of Us.
Oh, that alarm that he squawked.
Yeah.
Was pretty interesting.
So they follow May to the Wookiee's home world, not the home world, but anyway, where he's staying. And May has her squire with her, and they're tracking the Wookiee through this huge jungle, which nobody goes into because it's so dangerous. And
we only see one animal during that time. It's dangerous, and only one, and one lightsaber chopped it in half with ease, and that was it. As far
Yeah.
as the danger goes.
Yeah, that was just a lot of walking in that episode. Just walking through the forest.
Yeah, they should have got an Ewok.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right about the moth or whatever, because it was drawn to the light, you know. But you know, it's they get there and May is going to denounce the dark side because her sister's alive. You know, it's just huge flip flop. You know,
Wishy-washy.
Yeah, very
Wishy-washy.
like fast.
very fast, JD. And yeah, I'm with you, Scott. Flip floppy. So,
And that was supposed to be
wishy-washy.
16 years later.
Yeah,
You'd have thought that Plagueis or whoever she was with her that whole 16 years. And he done some really good David Koresh style brainwashing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And she was like, I'm pounding this Kool-Aid. This is some good Kool-Aid. And it just doesn't seem like he did a good job turning her.
no.
Yeah.
Especially if she's like, "Oh, my sister's alive. I'm just gonna leave." The guy's like, "He'll kill you," and she's like, "I don't care. You know, see ya."
And then she
leaves him,
saw the dead Wookiee, and then she
said-
kind of started to care.
Yeah.
"Oh, he's here."
She said like not she's like
How
he'll
can we
kill
find
you.
him?
She said he'll kill you, and then she was like not or no, that she said the Jedi will put you in prison, and she's like, not if I tell them all that I know or something like that. So it's like, what does she know?
Oh yeah,
There's a Sith out there or something else? I don't know.
yeah. I think with the, I don't know how many more flashbacks they can have with the Wookiee, because basically his story's kind of done. You know,
We don't understand him anyway.
Yeah. but I mean,
Subtitles.
you want to see him like with a lightsaber fighting. He must have like a big, telephone pole size lightsaber. and they just, I just think that, with the characters they have and the thing that they've set up, they just squandered a resource of the Wookiee as a Jedi. And he the first time somebody meets him, in real time, he's dead,
Yeah.
So
I think I saw something that they did have a fight scene, but like it got cut or something for some
really?
reason. Yeah.
Instead, we got walking.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And so the Jedi get there, and May's in the house with this dead Jedi, and you think, oh crap, they're going to find her and she's going to get blamed for this third death, when basically she only killed one Jedi. The other one killed himself, and then she found the third one dead.
Yeah.
And the Jedi are like, come out. How many do they have? Eight Jedi?
Yeah, like 7 or 8 of them, yeah.
And all of a sudden, Osha's standing there, and you see this big black blob like levitate down behind her, and it's Darth Teeth.
Yeah.
What they call her on the internet is Darth Teeth, because it looks like all these teeth on the mask.
The mask is really weird. And
Yeah.
also, I mean, the mask thing's overdone. That was a Darth Vader thing. That we learned that was for purpose. Then we got stupid Kylo Ren has to have a mask.
Hold on, I have a better one.
Yeah, the mask looks like something from an anime.
I can't zoom in on it. It is kind of creepy looking, but
Yeah. Or it looks like something from a slasher film, like Saw
There you
or
go.
something like that.
There you
Yeah.
go. I agree with that. It's a better thought.
it does kind of look like teeth, though.
Yeah.
I'm smiling at you.
Yeah, at least it wasn't Chewbacca.
Well, I
Yeah.
did think it was interesting that the first thing he does is he looks at May and or
I mean,
Osha,
yeah.
and it's like, you're not the one I'm looking for. Phew. Didn't
Yeah.
kill her, didn't crush her, just threw her aside, and like, I'll deal with you later. And then I got to deal with these Jedi that think they know what they're doing, and then he force pushes them or whatever, tornadoes them.
Did how many when you saw that scene where him and Osher are like face to face, and he lights up his lightsaber? Did you think that he like shot his lightsaber through her?
Kind of, yeah.
I thought it was going to be another Han Solo moment.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't see it that way.
Oh, you didn't?
Yeah, I didn't see it that way. I mean, I'll have to go back and watch it again. That whole scene was probably shot 5,000 different ways, and this is just what we got. Meaning,
yeah. Well, I mean, they're face to face,
job.
and all of a sudden you see the lightsaber pop up, and you see it pop up behind her, sort of, because he lit it, and it's to the side, but you can't see that, and it looks almost like he shot his lightsaber right through her, but he didn't.
The more interesting part of that is she didn't flinch, or she was frozen with fear, which is probably what they want us to think. I'm thinking more along the lines of she's like, okay, I've never seen a lightsaber that color before, and probably best to really stay still, because if I run, it may chase me, kind of like a bear in Colorado. You're supposed to ball up in a ball and be still, and they're just supposed to bat you around a little bit, and then you're fine.
She does a Dora voice. Red means stop.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that irritates me, and it's not just this movie, but it's with Disney in general lately, what they do to the Jedi. They nerf them so bad. You have 8 Jedi Masters. I mean, they're all certified Jedi, either Jedi Knights or Jedi Masters, and they just get blown away like they have no Force capabilities when this Darth Sith person like decides to just do a Force push, and he just like throws them away like they're paper in the wind. And I'm like, come on now.
I think part of that, and I it's Disney, so I have to be very careful in what I defend and what I don't defend. But I don't think they don't know how to fight the Sith yet, because they've never encountered them. So they don't understand that the Sith fights dirty. They think we're going to do it with our lightsabers, and we're going to bow, and then we're going to curtsy, and then we're going to high five, and then we're going to fight. Versus, I'm going to make that tree fall on you, and you're not even going to know it's coming, and you're dead. Congratulations. Mm-hmm. Your honor has just killed you. Because that's what the Sith is all about. I don't care how I win. I win. Mm-hmm. So I think that might have been them, seeing, we've got a foe that we can't scare by saying, I'm a Jedi. Oh, please, Mr. Jedi, don't hurt me. And he's like, so?
Yeah. So I think it's lame that they kept saying Splinter Group. The Jedi Splinter Group, because it's either, you follow the Jedi, you follow the Force in the Jedi way, or you don't. And if you don't, you're considered a dark Jedi or a Sith. Kylo Ren was not a Sith. He was never confirmed as a Sith. He was confirmed as a dark Jedi. And so...
he was an ego Jedi. I'm going to have a mask like Darth Vader. I don't need it to breathe, but I need a mask because it's pretty damn cool.
Yeah. Hey, Denisha. But it's just, they didn't know.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, what is this? Who trained her? If they're training in the Force, then she wouldn't be attacking people. If she came from a Jedi order. So
but did May do anything to lead them to believe that she was Force anything? I mean, she was fighting with knives. She wasn't using a lightsaber. She didn't take the lightsaber. She could have killed her and taken her lightsaber. She didn't take it like Grievous. General Grievous would have definitely go, add that to my collection. And there was none of that. And it's not like anybody saw May firsthand go, Force. And
I think she kind of did with
saw that
Carrie-Anne Moss's character.
We saw that, but there was no reporting of that.
Well, if you'll notice when
the bartender,
No, the in the Jedi in Coruscant in the temple, they were watching her.
Oh, so they had video footage?
Video recording, yeah.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
So they're like, who trained her? You know, and plus when she was fighting Master Soul, she was using, you know, techniques that were
that he could counter because they're standard techniques. But
yeah.
if that's the case, why did Plagueis train her with standard Jedi techniques?
But do we know if it's Plagueis?
We know it's not Luke.
No.
Yeah.
We can rule that out.
It's this Force ghost.
It's not a Wookiee. We can rule that out.
Yeah.
I feel like they could go so many different. I feel like we're either gonna get the most obvious is just that guide of hers,
Yeah.
the guy, either him, but that seems kind of weird. And then
What about a Charlie's Angels situation?
Yeah.
Who's Charlie?
Yeah.
Or like either the Darth Maul looking lady, she's still alive and got a mask to cover up her burns or something. I don't know.
I like that idea, JD.
She cut her horns off.
Yeah, because it does look like a kind of oversized like helmet. Like it looks pretty big. But
my thought was, like JD was saying, it was her guide, the Squire dude, because when she tells him, she leaves him.
Shows up.
All of a sudden, the guy shows up, and so my thought is that the Squire dude is actually the acolyte to Plagueis. You know, because there can only be two Sith.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe the reason he's not having May use a lightsaber or anything like that is because he's training her to be an assassin and not his Sith apprentice. So they'll follow the rule of two.
Yeah.
I want to see some Sith artifacts in this, like they have in the video games, because that is cool as shit. And since they're so artifact driven and artifact Force Ghost artifacts and stuff like that. Not Force Ghost, but you get what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
They Force Ghost themselves into artifacts. I think that's really neat. Very similar to Horcruxes, which is, I didn't like the way J.K. Rowling used those, but I think the artifacts that we've seen in the games would be a really good pull.
Are you talking about the holocrons and stuff?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And you can make a holocron at Disney, right? Or they sell them?
Yeah, they sell them. They sell like the Sith one and the Jedi one.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. My thought, about the Sith, and that's one of the major checkpoints for me, is they keep you guessing because you don't know who it is, and you want to find out. And that was like the cliffhanger for number 4.
Yeah.
Who is this Sith? Is it going to be Plagueis? Is it going to be Tenebris? Because Tenebris was Plagueis's, his master. Because this 100 years before the Phantom Menace, so Plagueis would have been a lot younger. So was he an apprentice back then, or was he the master? And we don't really know that. And or is it going to be somebody new, and they're just going to like throw tradition to the wind and say there's more than 2 Sith?
Yeah.
So we'll see. Scott, you think it's Plagueis?
I don't have any reason to think it's anybody but Plagueis. I like to see some of the other Dark Jedi from video games that I've watched, because during COVID I watched a lot of that video game Star Wars. I went down a deep hole of like, where the heck am I watching these video games, because the storylines were very compelling. And at one point I thought this was like somebody made the video. There wasn't a game, that it was somebody had made this movie, and I was just enjoying it on YouTube, episode after episode after episode. And then I realized I'm watching a dadgum video game. And but it was
they get pretty amazing.
It was very well done, and it was the whole, who is it? Raven? Raven?
Revan.
Yeah, Revan I thought was very interesting Sith character.
Him and Darth Malak.
yeah, all I think when there are three of them at one point, they weren't. I don't know. They can't be three if they're Sith, but anyway, they were like a little gang, like a biker gang almost. Only they were Sith or wannabe Sith or something. I don't know, but I'd like this to get fleshed out sooner than later. Don't hang me out to the 8th episode and then leave me with a cliffhanger. Don't piss me off like that. I need more closure. I need more backstory.
Yeah.
I don't think this is for kids. I don't think the story, the whole storyline's for kids. So I think this is a departing from that. We haven't seen the sketchy love scene yet, Mike, that you you said that you saw the paperwork for something or other, having a love maker movie person come in. So hopefully we'll continue to not see that, because I don't need to see Soul and one of the witches doing the hoochie coochie. I don't need that.
Yeah, I don't need it.
I want to see that. I'd watch Starship Troopers again. And then I'd see our friend from Mandalorian, because she's in that.
Oh yeah. Yep.
I'm gonna be annoyed if the next episode's like another flashback episode or something, and they just wait for like episode 6 to catch back up to the fight scene or something. I can kind of see them doing that, but
I wouldn't surprise me at all. That wouldn't surprise me at all. Where they like, well, hold it. They were being tossed. Now where are we? Are we in the past? Are we in the future? Where are we?
Yeah. My biggest fear is like on Ahsoka. We had this big buildup for the last episode, and you're like, oh, we're gonna see the Mortis gods, and all this is gonna be wrapped up. How are they gonna get back to their universe? And all of a sudden, it's just like, pooh. It just felt flat, and I don't want it to be.
Have you watched the trailer for the next season of Ahsoka?
No, not yet.
It's out.
Oh, is it?
I haven't seen that either.
I won't spoiler it because I don't really care for it. And you'll know why when you see it, because it's very Scott prevalent of why Scott wouldn't like it. But I think it's everything that we're expecting, and I'm like, I was expecting more. Better. Not, 2-year-old writing the script kind of thing.
Yeah. I didn't even know they greenlit it yet, but.
Well, I saw it. I thought it was official, but you never know with YouTube. And I was half paying attention. And I was like, oh, click, watch, done, moving on.
At the end of this series, my hope is that we find out who's behind the mask, even if it's a red herring. And it's not really the Darth Master.
It's Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah.
If it's not the Darth Master, if it's a red herring where it's an apprentice and the Master's still out there, like they ended the Phantom Menace. Which one was it? Was it the Master or the apprentice? I don't care. I just want them to like pull it off, have that Scooby moment, where they rip off the mask and they find out who it is.
That's one of the things that I didn't like about Dooku, because we didn't have enough backstory on Dooku. We kind of had to piece it together ourselves.
Yeah.
It wasn't handed to us on a platter. We had to pick through the bones of how can we have Dooku and Anakin both be, oh, that's right, Anakin's going to kill Dooku. Now he can be apprentice. Mm-hmm. That's stupid.
One other thing about this series that I haven't got is like a surprise moment where something has shocked me, in a good way, like a surprise, or, I think they kind of try to do that with Kyle Mundi, a little bit to that point where I saw him, I'm like, oh, that's Kyle Mundi, but nothing to the point where it's like, oh, I did not see that coming,
Yeah.
Basically, it's just like they kill off Carrie-Anne Moss. They kill off the Wookiee. They're twins. It wasn't like this huge reveal or huge surprise.
Yeah.
So it would be great if they were actually triplets. They didn't know they were.
Now that would surprise me.
I thought that was an option too. Like they made a third child.
Oh, really?
I kind of thought that. I was like, it's probably not, but it would be interesting.
That would be funny.
Yeah, you had a third sister that we kept hidden from both of you because there, it's the power of one, the power of two. We didn't need y'all to be the power of many yourselves.
Yeah.
Your third sister. If you will not turn, she will. No. That's funny. All right. Well, do y'all have any more thoughts about the 4th episode?
I almost didn't watch the 4th episode because I forgot about it. Because I've been watching, but it's like, oh, it's Tuesday. I've got to watch it. No,
Yeah.
It's just kind of there.
When The Mandalorian was coming out, the first season, that's how I was. I was
Oh,
pretty.
absolutely.
I was pretty excited to watch The Mandalorian. I'd be like, I got to watch the episode that's coming out today.
And it was okay that it didn't intertwine with Star Wars because it was the same universe, but a different. We knew about them, but we didn't know much about Mandalorians.
Yeah.
We just had a smidge, and that was enough to spin it off. I thought that fantastic. First season, gold. The rest of it, I don't know. I enjoyed it, but
yeah. Any thoughts, JD, about episode 4?
I mean, it was kind of just it was not a super exciting episode. I mean, the only cool thing is he chopped that bug in half with his lightsaber, but besides that, it was not really exciting till the end. And I hated how they ended it. Not that because it was bad, just because I was ready for some action, and then they just cut off the scene.
I want to go back and watch the bug being sliced and see if I hear a Wookiee roar at the very same time the slice goes through the bug.
Yeah.
Because that's what should have happened. Is you should have heard that. What was that noise at the time? That bug made a weird noise whenever you sliced it. And then eventually they're going to find him, right? I mean, they're not just going to fight the guy and then leave. They're going to fight the guy and and then they're going to find him dead.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the fun in killing somebody if you can't have everybody know that you did it?
Or the Wookiee's going to come out with this burn mark. Oh, that really hurt. And start fighting.
It itches. It itches so bad.
Yeah. All right. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I was going to say, A, B, or C, but I'll do 1 to 10. What are your thoughts of the first 4 episodes so far?
I'd say 5.5, 5.5.
Oh, wow.
It's not bad. It's just nothing super, super exciting has happened yet. But I feel some hope, a little bit of hope for the last 4. I think is going to get some more action and some more surprising reveals and stuff, hopefully. And we'll start to figure things out. And I think it'll be better.
Well, we haven't had a spaceship battle yet, so we have to have that.
Yeah.
We haven't had that yet. And funny thing is, JD, I was thinking 6.
Yeah.
I was thinking 6 also.
Yeah. So we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
I was just waiting for Scott to say, I have a bad feeling about this. Yeah, I'm with you, JD. I'm hoping for the action to intense ramp up. Because they were saying, when they were interviewing the people that were making the show, that it's supposed to have some really intense lightsaber scenes, better than the Phantom Menace, and so we'll see.
Yeah,
they only have 35 to 45 minutes per episode to do something. They got 4 more episodes.
Yeah.
So show us the love, show us the money. So Russell says he gave it a 5. So Russell gave it lower than we did.
Yeah.
Well, we just gave it above average, so
yeah,
that's not a earth-shattering review.
Yeah.
Siskel and Ebert would call that a meh.
Yeah.
Well, tons of people are for multiple reasons are panning this series, and there's a lot of things to be positive things to be said, like the outfits and the places they go, and the technology and the fight scenes. Those are all good, so add a little in-depth scripts, and it should be good to go. You know, what did George Lucas say? He's like, you know, all CGI and special effects don't make a movie. It's the script, even though he used CGI and special effects in the
Well,
Phantom Menace.
Pixar wouldn't be here if it wouldn't been for scripting, because
Yeah.
they were on the brink of bankruptcy, and Steve Jobs was floating checks, you know, weekly to keep it above board. I read a really good book on it, and finally they figured out if we have good story, everything else falls into place.
Mm-hmm.
And look at Toy Story 1, 2, 3, 20.
Monsters Inc.
Monsters Inc. was a good one too.
Up.
And it just goes on from there. Even Wall-E was good, and there was hardly any talking in that movie.
Yeah. Well, guys, I really appreciate you showing up and recapping these 4 episodes. We'll have to do a final recap when the episode finishes, or even have a ending episode live watch.
Yeah,
just to see it.
It
So,
could be
any other thoughts or ideas about the episode so far?
I just want all of us to stop coughing,
I know.
especially me. I want me to stop coughing.
Yeah.
Well,
So
thanks for
thanks
being
for
a
putting up
trooper
with
and
me.
hanging in there.
I appreciate you having me, and
Yeah.
I'm glad I was here. I ditched the game early because we're going to Game 7, so we'll see. We will see the Oil. I'm calling my shot. The Oilers will win the Stanley Cup because the script says
That's great.
they have to win. Canada needs the cup because they got shitty hockey teams, so they need the cup back in Canada. It hasn't been there for, I don't know, 30 years, something like that.
Yeah.
So that's the script. That's what's going to happen. And
Is that what you want to happen?
Oh God, no, absolutely not. The cup belongs in the United States because it's our game now.
Scott, you
And-
make a great Sith.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thanks everybody for coming to our little soiree, and we hope you enjoyed it and maybe learned something new. And hopefully, we didn't spoil too many things for you if you haven't seen the episodes. So, if you haven't checked out Scott and JD's channels, tell them your channel name real quick.
Mine's just Denning Bros Gaming.
Okay.
You can check me out at Voice Guide at Home.
And I am the Carbonite Jedi. So, and then Steve was here earlier, and he's craving something scary. So, thanks everybody for coming, and we will see you next time. May the Force be with you always.